It's a pandemic that won't end. Tonight, the incoming president will lay out his plan for an economic rebound.
Plus, Denver's restaurants catch a break, but other businesses may miss out on the help they need.
This has been a challenging time for everyone.
And after 2 days of howling winds, we'll tell you when Mother Nature might settle down.
Boy, if you didn't feel it, you probably heard it. We saw hurricane-force wind gusts in some parts of Colorado today.
We saw some scattered power outages associated with it. South Metro Fire shared a couple of reports of trees blown over by the wind. One landed on this home in Centennial. No injuries.
Yikes. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson's tracking the system for us tonight. So what is next, Mike?
Well, those winds have been howling. This is a view up at the top of the Continental Divide. The wind gauge was really blowing around at Loveland Ski Area. Look at some of the peak gusts over the last 24 hours, almost 100 miles per hour at Glenhaven, but 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds, not only mountains and foothills, but across the metro area and the northeast plains. It has been a wild time. The wind speeds are still going strong, 33 miles per hour sustained at Akron right now with gusts to about 55. The high wind warning continues on the eastern plains till tomorrow afternoon, and there's also a fire weather warning there because of the gusty conditions. Any wildfires that might develop would be fast moving. Now, good news along the Front Range. It will expire at 6 o'clock tonight in the foothills, and Denver does not have a high wind warning, but we're still going to have a lot of wind. There's some scattered snow showers out on the northeast plains, some limited visibility from time to time with those. The headlines as far as tonight, not as windy in the metro area, very windy northeast Colorado, blowing dust on the plains, and the chilly weather is going to continue. I'll have your full 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, we want to get to some breaking news right now. We are getting our first look at President-elect Joe Biden's stimulus plan.
So Biden's expected to formally roll it out this evening, but an early draft of the plan is out now, and we know now the plan comes with a large price tag, $1.9 trillion.
And at that price, it's about twice as big as the stimulus bill that passed last month, but only 2/3 the size of the massive relief package that passed back in March. Now, the highlight here, $2,000 checks for everyone. Now, technically, this will build off the $600 payments made at the start of the year. So if you already got that payment, the Biden plan would give you another $1,400 to make it an even $2,000.
The bill also includes $20 billion for vaccinations, $50 billion for testing, $350 billion in aid for state and local governments, and it would extend the enhanced unemployment benefits program through September while boosting benefits to $400 a week.
Of course, the impeachment proceedings could throw a wrench into the president-elect's plan. Biden has the votes, but he may not have time to pass a stimulus and impeach President Trump.
Denver7's Joe St. George breaks it all down from Capitol Hill.
President-elect Biden, on paper, could pass another stimulus check bill by the end of the month. Have it in your account by early February. He has the votes, but passing any economic legislation takes some time, and an impeachment trial, well, takes time. Right now, Senator Mitch McConnell has indicated January 19th would be the earliest an impeachment trial could begin. President-elect Biden takes the oath of office on the 20th. Here's a look at the length of recent Senate impeachment trials. President Trump's 2020 trial lasted 21 days. President Clinton's 1999 trial, 37 days. There's no telling how long President Trump's latest impeachment trial will take, but it will likely be several weeks. After all, the president will have the right to defend himself. While President-elect Biden has the votes to pass another stimulus check economic relief bill with only Democrats and limited debate, Democrats on Capitol Hill are already indicating they want to negotiate some details. After all, after 4 years, they now have power. Stimulus negotiations, the country knows by now, requires time. And President-elect Biden has hinted he would like the Senate to do both at the same time, not spending all day just on impeachment.
Can you go half day on dealing with the impeachment and half day getting my people nominated and confirmed in the Senate?
So while another stimulus check is likely on the way, what's unclear is how fast it will arrive. It will likely run into some delays with this Senate impeachment trial. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
A U.S. Olympic gold medalist who lived and trained in Colorado Springs is out on bond on charges connected to last week's insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Clete Keller made his first appearance in district court today. Keller could face 11 years in prison after he was identified as one of the people in videos posted on social media. He can be seen wearing his blue Olympic jacket inside the Capitol. A judge ordered Keller to turn in his passport by Tuesday, but is allowing him to travel to North Carolina before his trial starts so he can visit family.
We are now on pace to have 250,000 Coloradans receive their first vaccine dose by Sunday. About 224,000 people have received the first dose as of today. Almost 47,000 have gotten both doses. 900 hospital beds in use tonight by those with the symptoms or with the actual virus. And the highest risk patients who are first in line for the vaccine make up nearly 80% of hospitalizations, according to the governor. And there is hope that number will keep going down as more people get the vaccine. Well, Denver received preliminary approval to launch a 5-star program today. City officials expect to start pre-certifying businesses, quote, soon.
The 5-star program allows qualifying businesses to reopen with lighter restrictions than other businesses. And in Denver, this means restaurants would be able to open at 50% capacity. Of course, there is a catch.
It's important to remember that Denver must maintain 7 days of stable or declining orange level metrics as defined by CDPHE before the program can be fully implemented.
All right, translation, it could be weeks before you see meaningful change. Over the past 2 weeks, the case rate was 520 for every 100,000 people living in Denver, and it really needs to be below 350 before the 5-star program could take effect.
Colorado lawmakers are working to fix a bill they passed during the special session that provides financial relief to minority-owned businesses.
These changes come after a lawsuit was filed claiming the program is discriminatory and unconstitutional. Denver7's political reporter Megan Lopez takes a closer look.
In the context of America's 244-year-old democracy, the 25th Amendment is the youngster in the room. Ratified in 1967, only used in a very few particular instances temporarily, and never due to a president's mental capacity. Basically, it allows the vice president to take over if the president dies or is disabled.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
After the president's speech Wednesday, after the chaos at the Capitol, and after the president's silence and then video telling the rioters he loved them,
he must be removed from office.
Calls from top leaders of Congress for that amendment to be invoked. Even Colorado's Democrats say enough is enough.
He incited these people. He fomented this violence in many ways, and he whipped people into a frenzy.
This man has his hands on the nuclear codes, and I don't think we can trust him to run this country for the next 2 weeks.
The president is a very dangerous person. He's a very violent person, and he's very unstable.
In my opinion, some of the things that he's done recently are insane.
But invoking the 25th Amendment is up to Vice President Mike Pence and the cabinet. And DU constitutional law professor Alan Chen says it's unlikely before the inauguration.
The real question here is timing. We have less than 2 weeks before the inauguration of Joe Biden, and the process sets a minimum time period.
The president is also allowed to dispute it, which would prolong the process. The other idea is another impeachment.
The impeachment would be something else and could potentially bar Donald Trump from ever running for office again.
We have to look at the timeline and what is possible given that short period, and whether or not that it could extend beyond his term in office too. And we are conducting that assessment right now.
But again, Chen says that would be difficult.
Both of those approaches are unlikely to occur.
Why? That is the question neighbors are asking about an apparent double murder-suicide in Denver near South Logan in Mexico. Police say an adult male, an adult female, and an infant were found dead in a house in the Platt Park neighborhood.
Denver7's Lance Hernandez reaching out to families, friends, and neighbors. Lance?
Well, Shannon, neither family nor friends who I reached out to wanted to talk at all on camera, but neighbors tell me that young couple and their infant daughter had just recently moved to this neighborhood. A single bouquet placed at the front door of this home in the Platt Park neighborhood, a home the couple had recently purchased for $790,000.
As far as we knew, they were only there for maybe 3 weeks or so. They had just moved in. We never really had the opportunity to get to know them at all.
This was the scene yesterday. A neighbor shot this video of police cars and an ambulance in front of the house. Police tweeted that the death investigation on the 1700 block of South Logan appears to be a domestic-related double murder-suicide involving an adult female, adult male, and infant. Neighbors still grappling with what happened.
Other than just kind of waving and passing on a walk, I said hi to their kind of new puppies a couple times, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. It's just incredibly sad and shocking. to hear.
Didn't hear any gunshots or anything, so we would have reported that, obviously. But yeah, it's horrible. I mean, it's just a horrible, horrible story.
Now, I reached out to the realtor who sold the home to the couple, asked if there were any financial issues or any other issues he was aware of. He simply said he was wondering the same thing. The couple purchased the house in September and were doing some remodeling work inside. We're not releasing the names because we don't know if all family members have been notified yet. We do know that the woman worked as a nurse at Parker Adventist Hospital. Tonight, Centura Health sent out a statement saying their community is heartbroken over the loss of that nurse and her young daughter. They say she was instrumental in their COVID-19 response, had an infectious smile, a generous heart, and will be deeply missed. Lance Hernandez, Denver7.
There will come a point at which healthcare needs in our community will surpass hospital resources.
Field hospitals are up and running at Disney World and Yankee Stadium. While Colorado rebounds, other states are in the darkest stretch of the pandemic. We're taking you inside the crisis next.
Plus, a well-deserved honor for a hero of the U.S. Capitol protests. And after an abandoned car wash catches fire,
who knows, somebody could have fallen asleep and a mattress went on fire.
one Denver neighborhood is demanding action from the city.